I'm here to join my colleagues in speaking on the floor in advance of Government Sunshine Week. But before I do that, let me commend my colleague from Oklahoma for his comments about the need for more transparency in government, and particularly our grant-making process. We have made some progress on that, most recently the DATA Act. His predecessor in Congress, Tom Coburn, worked on this issue, and we came up with legislation when I was on the other side of Pennsylvania Avenue at the Office of Management and Budget to put all grants and contracts online, which was a start. But the DATA Act takes that to the next level to ensure there's uniformity in government. We still have difficulty with some agencies getting the information out there, but he's absolutely right. And it would make a difference because if people know how the money is being spent, it's much more likely it'll be spent wisely, all the way down to the zip code in terms of where grants are going, what kind of federal taxpayer dollars are being spent in our communities and whether it's being spent well. Government shutdowns, of course, I couldn't agree more with my colleague. They have not worked to help make our government more efficient. In fact, we always spend more after the fact. Think about it, people are furloughed, and then when they go back to work, they get back pay. Well, it would have been much better had they been there to provide the services to the taxpayers. You also just have a lot of dislocation that's unfair. People that have to go to work, who are essential employees. Think of our TSA employees, for those of you who travel in airports, not to get paid. A lot of them had car payments or house payments they couldn't make during the last government shutdown. Just unfair. So we've got to get at that. We've got legislation that actually 2/3 of the members of this side of the aisle have supported, and yet we have not been able to make that bipartisan. So I appreciate the fact that my colleague from Oklahoma has a bipartisan approach to that. We've tried for 4 or 5 Congresses now to pass legislation that simply says, at the end of the fiscal year, if you haven't completed all the bills, then the government continues to operate, but 1% spending is cut every 120 days and every 90 days thereafter to give the appropriations committees here the incentive to get to work and to get the budget bills done. That, I think, would work. It used to be a bipartisan approach. It's not now. So I'm interested in looking at other options, including what the senator from Oklahoma was talking about in terms of providing more pressure on us here to get our work done, because these shutdowns clearly haven't worked to help make government more efficient. They've had just the opposite impact. But today's